Press the bell icon on YouTube and don't miss another update.
Ministers in this government and the Prime Minister's office don't quite seem to be on the same page. And the Prime Minister's office has stalled a decision taken by Union Road Transport and Highways Minister Nitin Gadkari to convert certain state highways into national highways. Now, why has this snub been given to Gadkari and his decisions is what we are going to look at in Government Matters today. And do remember, this is an exclusive story by ThePrint, so log on to our website to read the story. Maushmi Das Gupta, who is the reporter who broke the story for us and has done this exclusive scoop, is in the studio with me. Maushmi, just to begin with, what is this tussle about between Mr. Gadkari and the Prime Minister's office?
So Ruhi, what happened was that, from 2014.
Since this government came, since the first Modi government came.
Since the NDA government came in its first term. So in the 5 years, the Highway Ministry had, declared some 72,000 kilometers of state roads into national highways, as in declared in principle, of which 19,000 kilometers were notified. Right. So what means is that once a state road is declared as national highway, then its maintenance, upgradation, expansion from single lane to 2 lane or from 2 lane to 4 lane, everything comes under the center, as in the financial implication directly falls with the center. Right. As long as it is with the state, so the states look after it.
So now the PMO has stalled any further decisions that have been taken.
Yeah, so basically it has been put on hold. So and the reason being that at a time like this, when Highway Ministry itself is going through, is facing fund constraint, because again, Ruhi, remember in 2017, the cabinet approved this ambitious Bharatmala program of, developing some 34,000 kilometers of highway network across India, and its budget is to the tune of 7 lakh crore. So what the government wanted was, the PMO's thing was, PMO stepped in fact sometime in the middle of last year, and the principal secretary in PMO, Nitin Mishra, took a meeting where he flagged this issue that, there has to be some rule, some kind of a guideline on how state roads are declared as national highways.
So now, to understand how many kilometers of road that Mr. Gadkari had say approved in principle have been stalled now?
So as of now, some 53,000 kilometers which were declared in principle are yet to be notified, as in they have been put on hold. And in between, what after Nitin Mishra, after the PMO stepped in, so they directed that a committee of secretary under the cabinet secretary should be set up. It was set up. It comprises of the cabinet secretary, the Niti Aayog CEO, Amitabh Kant, the expenditure secretary, and the highway secretary. So the highway ministry was asked to, give them a guideline, a checklist on, what should be the parameter before, say, XYZ state road is declared as a national highway. So once the checklist is given, the COS is going to vet it, and only then, they will decide if a road is to be a state road or a state highway is to be declared as national highway.
So what is the current system of declaring it? Is it to the minister's discretion?
See, as on date, there is no standard guideline. They have a 11-point criteria, but it's very generalized. Like I'll tell you some of the criteria. Like they say that a road running through length, breadth of the country, connecting adjacent countries, road connecting national capital with state capital, connecting major ports, non-major ports. So these are very generalized, and the PMO's contention was, and also a lot of people in the government also thought that this is very arbitrary, because any state road can be easily declared as a national highway using these criteria, and it was not very scientific. So now the committee of secretaries that has been set up, so they are looking into a more scientific guideline. For instance, if a state road sends a proposal that it wants a particular stretch to be converted into a national highway, then the COS would want to know how the number of vehicles that ply on the road, or the number of vehicles that can ply on the road in the next 5 years, whether it has the capacity to to be declared as a national highway.
Right.
So they are bringing in more specific criteria.
Right. Now, an obvious question that comes to me as a layperson is, why was Mr. Gadkari even declaring so many state roads as national highways? Is it because he wanted to add the number of national highways and buff up that number?
Yeah, that is one of the most, logical, conclusion one can draw. For state, it helps them because, it takes away the state's responsibility, and also, it takes off the burden on the state exchequer. For the ministry, for the center, it helps because it adds to your highway network. For instance, I will give you one figure, Ruhi, till 2014, such state roads or highways which were declared as national highway, their length was 91,287 kilometer. So now it has, today it stands at 1,31,326 kilometer. Right. So 40,000 kilometer more. So for the center it helps because you can show that
we built so many, we have so many national highways under us, right?
Under us. So that is one thing. But then while doing so, one has to also remember your own financial capability. For instance, in 2019-20 fiscal, the Highway Ministry has projected a revenue deficit of over 37,000 crore to the Finance Ministry. Right. So the PMO's point was simple that where is the
we are bleeding financially by doing this.
Where is the money going to come from to to declare all these state roads as highways?
Right.
Because it just doesn't end there.
Right. Now, Maushmi, this was the technical aspect of it. I want to ask you, this also has in some ways, if we want to be a little mischievous, a political connotation. We know that Mr. Gadkari is someone who has made statements which have been, which have had various meanings before, particularly in the run up to the elections. He said various things which made people wonder whether he was trying to compete with Mr. Modi, was trying to project himself as an alternative to Mr. Modi. Do you see a bit of politics there as well?
Well, we can't say for sure if there is politics involved, but going by how things have panned out, that's again, I don't see any other reason, as in the fact that a message was being given. Also, Ruhi, if you remember, after the elections also, during portfolio allocation also, Mr. Gadkari is one of the senior most minister in the cabinet, and also somebody who has delivered on the Highways Ministry. Right. And in the first term, he was looking after not only the Highway Ministry, the shipping ministry, the water resources ministry.
Absolutely.
He was handling the Ganga rejuvenation. Ganga rejuvenation plan. So in the second term, just after the government took over and the portfolios were announced, Mr. Gadkari was just left with Highways Ministry, and a very small MSME ministry was added to his portfolio. Right. So and that gave, that raised a lot of eyebrows, and there were a lot of talk that how Mr. Gadkari has been sidelined. Right. So one can look at it this way, but yeah, we can't say for sure.
But it could be a little bit of clipping of wings as well.
Yeah, in a way, yes, because a state road being declared as a national highway, that should be the domain of the Highway Ministry. Right. Highway Ministry and the Highway Minister, the PMO stepping in and saying that
you can't do this could be
but they are also right on
the fiscal front.
Yeah, on the fiscal front, that you have to be fiscally more prudent. You can't just go on like that.
Right. Well, a political message or fiscal prudence, or a combination of both. The jury is out on that, but as Maushmi Dasgupta said, as of now, Mr. Gadkari's ambitious plans of declaring many state roads as national highways has been stalled by the Prime Minister's office. Do log on to theprint.in to read her stories, and also follow us on YouTube for much more. Thank you for watching Government Matters.